All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming on this, let's see, yeah, Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday night. Now, our breaks and everybody's breaks are coming up rather quickly. Um, so I'll try to, yeah, roll into this. We have a lot of great speakers with us tonight from all of our different college programs from UCM, Missouri State, University of Missouri St. Louis, MU, KU, and Missouri State. And I think I hit everybody now. So it's exciting that we've been growing. I know, like, we started this with Michael Brunkhorst with UCM a few years ago, and it's been exciting to see these programs really grow and thrive. Not to, be, start that off with a pun, but without further ado, we'll have each college go and give their information, and they can pull up a presentation that they've got to share with us. And then we'll go through all of our colleges, and then by the time we're done, if we have about hopefully 15 or 20 minutes left for any Q&As, and if we do kind of run out of time or whatever, anybody can definitely feel free to send me any questions that you may have, or if you want to filter that directly to anybody that's speaking tonight, to all have their contact information as well. So without further ado, we'll have Michael Brunkhorst from UCM start us off.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Matt. It's been great working with you the last few years. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And can I go and welcome everyone? And the first thing I'd like to do is start out with a little video and let you all do.
Mike, it's not playing on our end.
It's not playing on your end?
No.
Oh, great. We just went ahead and started it that next
Oh,
video.
Wait, there it goes.
The Thrive program has received approval from the United States Department of Education as a comprehensive transition and post-secondary program, or CTP. As a CTP program, students who qualify may receive federal financial aid.
I originally didn't think it was for me. I didn't think that I needed like disability, stuff like that. But then when I came here and actually saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not what I thought it was at all. My mom, she asked me, do you want to stay at UCM or do you want to go back to the community college with me? And I'm like, oh no, no question. I'm like, UCM is my home. I'm like, I've found the school that matches me finally. And I'm like, no question, I want to stay here. And she's like, okay.
Getting the necessary rapport with parents of students with disabilities is kind of a challenge because we are asking them to take a leap of faith. We have to say, thanks for leaving your child. It's time for you to go home now, and we'll see you on parent weekend.
The parents have heard about us from another parent or from another agency that they trust already. They get to see our students and staff. And then as it goes, we actually create a kind of family. We have one teacher that works with the first-year students. We have another teacher working with second-year students.
Parents trust Thrive to help their children build life and social skills, experience independent living, and enhance their career development. Students are supported in residence hall living, assisted by Thrive student mentors. They build lasting friendships and enjoy a collegiate experience, integrated with their UCM peers.
We figured out pretty early on that she was developmentally delayed. We wanted her to go as far as she could go. And we felt like the Thrive program would be a good transition. So we went to the Thrive open house and we were just very excited about it.
At that point, I was maybe a little bit more advanced, but I would definitely need the skills for what they were going to teach me to transition to college. So meeting Miss Karen, Mr. B, and everybody was so awesome. We went on a tour and I was like, okay, I'm in love. I got to go to this college. Like, this is for me.
We went up there in the fall to the open house and to meet a lot of the teachers, instructors, and some of the kids that were in the program at the time. Came out of there, we got in the car. Tally said, "Dad, I really feel like I fit here, so I'd really like to get in here."
The Thrive courses, I would call adaptive courses, courses that deal with communication, that deal with healthy relationships, that deal with making choices and taking responsibility, as well as basic academics. We had students who could function in a college classroom, read a college textbook, while on the other hand, we had students whose academic skills had plateaued around the 4th or 5th grade level, which needs some supports and accessibility accommodations.
If there was a club, they would join it. If there was an intramural sport, they would play it. If there was an event on campus, they were there. Football game, homecoming, parade, any of it, they were there front and center.
We accept the students where they're at, and then we're trying to move them along down the path to success. With each and every Thrive student, that uniqueness is built in. So getting to know them on their journey and then helping them progress and move forward is really a thrill for us all.
Most Thrive students complete a 2-year certificate of success, graduate, and move confidently into the working world. Others, including Avery and Richard, use their Thrive experience as a springboard into traditional bachelor degree programs.
I came to UCM as a Thrive student, but then I transitioned to a regular college student, and I found this program has immensely helped me figure out where I'm going, what I want to do, and with my teacher's help along the way.
If it wasn't for Thrive, I wouldn't be here. If I had honestly just come straight from community college to here, it would have been like a huge culture shock for me, and I probably would have just dropped out. I would have been like, I'm too scared, I can't do this. But being integrated through Thrive and getting to like see where things were on campus and getting basically like an inside look prepared me. I owe them everything, honestly.
All right. Let's see here. I like showing that first because it gives a perspective that is outside of what I'd be able to do from the parent's perspective and the students. So can you see me now in my slides again?
Yes.
Okay. So we started back in 2010 with 12 students. And this year we have 17 first year, 15 second. And we've started a 3rd and 4th year option for our program, and we have 5 students in that at the moment. Our Thrive students are UCM students, just like anybody else. Their ID card looks no different than mine, so they pretty much participate all over. The staff, there's a years of service for us. You can see I'm kind of the young one of the teachers, and then we also have a counseling rep from the counseling ed department and counselor in training that I'll explain a little later. We have 5 this semester mentors that live in the dorms with the students, and they help cover nights and weekends. There's a mentor on duty in the hall every night, and then we also have study halls on Sunday afternoon and Monday through Thursday night, so they also cover for that as well. Our mentors also alternate the weekends so that they have a weekend duty, and they'll plan an activity during their weekend and then help the students, whether it be with showing them how to do laundry early on and helping them with homework, whatever else might be the case there on that one. Our counselor in training is a counseling ed major working on their master's in counseling ed. And so she or he is doing their internship with us. And so they will either have individual or group counseling, about 30 to 50 minutes a week, depending on the student, and just some of the topics. And many of you, these are typical university freshman discussions all over campus, not just with Thrive. And so, but those are various discussions they will have. They also talk about careers as well. We also have a PE course called Adapted PE, where our students actually work with typical students that are working on a major and working with students and adults with disabilities on healthy living. And so they have basically their own personal trainer while they're in our program. Some of the classes that we take, our students are going to have elective classes during the years they have with us. And those classes are based on their interests or hobbies, looking for ways to help give them more education in an area that they want to go into and work, or possibly even head on into college after the Thrive program. Here's first year classes there. The ones in red are Thrive classes and taught by Thrive instructors. A few of them, though, University Foundations and Learning Strategies, are typical college classes that other students on campus will take. So we utilize that to see if those students might be ready to take classes for credit. Most of our students are auditing those classes throughout their years with us. But if they do show the ability to take classes for credit, and that's an ambition or a goal for them to go towards, then they can start taking their electives for credit and kind of like dual enrolled in UCM and in Thrive at the same time. There's career exploration class, technology class. Technology is meant to help all students know how to utilize everything that any student on campus uses for class. The same software, the same program, upload, downloading, Word, Google. We're a Google campus, so we teach them those as well. Rec and fitness course, that's the PE course. And then during that first year, they'll either take bowling or valuing differences, depending on what fits into their schedule. They also continue trying to gain skills in math, reading, and writing. And so they take assessments in an online program every month. And then that program gives them homework based on how they answered the questions. And our first year teacher, Mrs. Southard, monitors that and on a weekly basis and can help them as they go through that. Our first year teacher also meets with those students 30 minutes a week. Along with our counselor and training time, they work with a person-centered plan so that we work with that student to find out what do they want to go into as a career and or as a in a degree, and work with that. They also get assessed by our Welch-Schmidt Communication Disorders Clinic, which is made up of students working on their speech and language pathology degree. And so they get that 2 days out of the week as well to help them with various communication skills, whether it be work skills, social skills relating to that communication. And we talked about study hall. Semester 2, the workplace and community skills, they get 3 different job shadow opportunities around campus and also in the community based on what they want to do as a job. And it helps them learn more about the job they might want to do as an internship that second year. They will also do resumes and cover letters and start building that portfolio that they will leave with. We also added a class, Foods and Nutrition 1, last year, and they will learn more about cooking skills to help them become more independent in a future apartment or whatever living arrangement they might have. Daily and independent living skills is going to work with them on safety of themselves and safety in the dorms and a home, careers. They'll do more research with careers, and also they will do research related to and understanding of the different skills needed for the job, those soft skills. And then here's some of the classes that some of them have taken throughout the years. You can see, pretty much is open depending on what they're wanting to do. The second year of the program, they have another teacher, but they follow them just like Mrs. Southard did. Dr. Manning is their teacher for this year, and he will have them for transition planning. 1 and 2, they will do more soft skills training. They may have businesses from the community come in to talk to them about jobs and what they're looking for. He also works with our career center, and they do many seminars for our students based on mock interviews, how do you dress, they'll look over the resumes and things like that. Internship, they will have at least 2 internships during that year, and we like to have them separate so they gain more skills, and it's 8 to 12 hours a week. based on what they want to do. It's on or off campus. They'll have a Foods and Nutrition 2 class to continue that learning of foods and nutrition. And they'll also have a personal finance class during that 4th semester where they bring in more about apartment living, leases, budgets. They continue to do, we use Missouri Connections during all 4 semesters and more if they need it, where they take different career assessments, which helps them narrow down maybe some options, because many of our students are like any other college student where they don't really know what they want to do yet. And they'll continue with rec and fitness, continue with academic skills through Plato. They'll have a different counselor in training this year because every year we have a new one because they've graduated. And then Dr. Manning will meet with them 30 minutes a week. He also is the one that supervises their internship. So he's very rarely in his office because he's around campus, around the community, checking on the students. And I did neglect to mention that Mrs. Southard also checks with all of the elective teachers each week to see that our students are going to classes, that they're doing their homework, and seeing about any questions or concerns that the teacher has so that she can discuss them with her students. And then she shares that with Dr. Manning's students as well. And there's some other courses there they can take. And during that 2nd year, they can take up to 2 elective credits if they are ready for those credit classes. We've actually had one student, the one student in the video, Avery, had 3 to 4 classes those last 2 semesters and was taking them for credit, and then went on to UCM as a typical degree-seeking student the year after. So, we individualize those elective courses to what we think the student can do. During the 3rd year, and sorry, it looks like my screen is a little bit crazy on a couple of those slides, but the 3rd and 4th year, basically, we're giving more independence. They move out of our dorm and more into apartment dorms that are on campus. We don't have the mentors in those dorms, so they rely on the regular CA, community advisors or residential advisors that any student in there can utilize for help. They also have my phone number and also the 3rd year teacher's phone number if they ever need any assistance. They take personal finance 2 and transition planning, continuing on those skills for jobs. On an internship, it depends. If they are not taking them for credit and they're taking this 3rd year to learn more about the job and learn more about independent living, then they'll take 15 to 18 hours of internship during those semesters. And then if they are taking it for credit, it is an option for them, because if they're taking more classes for credit, not all students need to do the internship. So we work with the student and the family and develop a plan accordingly. There's a Foods and Nutrition 3 that can be taken. It all depends on what the student still needs to do. And then the fitness course is an option in there as well for them. And they continue to have person-centered planning appointments once a week with Mrs. Garnier, our 3rd and 4th year teacher. Study hall, though, they don't have study hall. Instead, they're going to help with study hall 2 times a week. They'll go and they will help study hall and help them. And here's some more of the elective courses that we've had students take. The 4th year is more of the same. It's individualized to what the student needs. If they're just auditing the classes, then we'll work on getting them up to 20 hours a week in their internship. And then if they're off campus, it might be more than that. We can only give 20 hours a week at maximum for those students that are in that as well. What they do, they can do anything any other student does on campus. They're playing rec leagues, they're socializing, they're climbing the rock wall, they're decorating for the homecoming parade. They went to the Down Syndrome Innovations Arrowhead Down Syndrome Walk. We've done that a few years, and do other activities on campus as well. Here's the rec center, some of the students at the basketball court. And some of the other things they do is job shadowing. Here are some of the locations they've been at. We try to make sure that the job shadows are related to an interest that they have. And most of us lived or grew up in Warrensburg area, so we have a lot of networking that we can look at, and most times we can find something that relates to whatever that student wants to do, one way or the other. Here's some of our students in action over the years, and their locations and their job shadows they're in. Michael, let's see here. This gentleman here is also at UCM right now as a typical student. We've had, I think right now we have 6 students taking their elective classes for credit. I do believe Michael right now is the only Thrive student that is, out of our program that is going, but we do have 3 that are in our 3rd and 4th year that are taking their classes for credit and degree seeking as well. The child care center on campus, the vet center south of town. We've got here the greenhouse, and there's another greenhouse picture. The rec center, a lot of students like the sports and like to think that maybe they could work at their local YMCA or community center. So we get those. They have 5 different job areas they do within that area. And there's TJ working at his. Don't know why I got 2 of them on this one, but here's media. We have KMOS TV on campus. So for the last 3.5 years or so, our students have been able to work at KMOS, but also get the experience of working video and helping with that type of communication as well. This gentleman here, along with another one here in a little bit, actually is part of one of the classes they took. They got to work at the Division II championships that they have in Kansas City, and they helped the video, they helped with cabling, they basically had the whole week up there, and they had a blast learning even more. Some of the offices on campus and off campus of the Salvation Army. Here's Avery over at the bookstore. She is now working in a fashion store in the Kansas City area, and emailed me last December, very excited because she was paying her own bills and living in her own apartment. And so we were great to hear that. Richard went on to be a UCM student after Thrive as well. And then we've had some managers in the sports area, along with Jesse here, was reading one of his articles in the Mule Skinner, which is our school paper, and learned a lot there. I think he wrote about 5 articles in that paper. And so our internships, they really do learn what they might need to do when they get done with Thrive and a job. Here's our dorm, some of our past students. And we also, here's the rec center softball team from this year. Our kids have played in every year since I've been here, except a couple times during COVID when we didn't have enough players. We play against other sororities, fraternities, and groups on campus. And you'll see many of our mentors in that picture as well. We let them play right along with our students, and they have a ball. A lot of parents come down and watch them as well. Here's our dining hall and some of our past students there in the dining hall. And I think it's great food. I just ate there today, and I think it's great food. Some of the activities the mentors do: parties, game night, bowling, another game night there, cooking. I do ask that every other week is a cooking activity, and one of the second-year students helps them come up with that, and then the students in smaller groups get to make whatever they want. Looks like muffins on that one. That one there's spaghetti dinner with garlic bread, talent contest, getting ready for the dance, a couple others. There's the rec center ideas there, and then of course the baseball game, last baseball game of the season. Homecoming. We've got a couple things around campus that we do. I know I'm trying to make sure we have plenty of time. We also, at the end of the semester, have an end of semester party. We just had ours last Tuesday, and gave them some awards and have some nice food. Graduation. This is our first cohort. And this gentleman here told his parents afterwards, as their way home, that he didn't want to live with them anymore. So I try to make sure parents know that, his idea was he'd lived on his own for 2 years, and now it's time for him to live on his own. So the family found a house, found a mentor. He worked at the vet center, which was walking distance, and the grocery store was nearby there as well. And so here is last year's group here, the graduates, and then here is the graduates. They graduate with the College of Ed, walk on the stage and get handshaken by the president. And, then we have a celebration afterwards where they get their certificate of success after that. I guess there's this year's. I thought that was a little bit odd, but there's last year's group right there. And then just some financial options. We are Pell eligible, and there are some other scholarship options and financial options there at our website. We're also are, just like many of the others, are accepting applications now for next fall. And so if you're interested, please get in touch. I'd always suggest Facebook and get an idea of what Thrive is like and what it would look like for your student, or if you're the student, what it would look like for you. We do have an open house coming up January 22nd, where you get to meet our students, our staff, get a tour of campus and ask any questions. We've got 2 different sessions, and you can email me or email Thrive to get more information on that. I also recommend the Centers for Human Services to talk to them and get some ideas about how they might be able to help you, because no outside agency is going to pay totally for a program like ours, but we want to make sure every family has an idea what services or what help they might be able to get. And all of us are in a group called MIPSA. So as we're presenting tonight, we want you to have the options to go to all of us and see which one matches what your interests are, and help make sure that it matches you. And so just like I said, we're already accepting applications for next fall. So if you have questions, just email or give me a phone call. And that is all. I hope I stayed on target.
Yes. No, that was great, Mike. Thank you. No, appreciate that info for UCM. And now we'll keep rolling with Caleb from Bear Power, Missouri State.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Forgive me, this is, even going through an entire pandemic, this is my first Google Meets. So I'm still learning to navigate all of this. One moment. All right. Can you all see the screen that says Bear Power?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So as I was introduced, my name is Caleb Patz, and I am the program coordinator for Bear Power at Missouri State University. Excited to be here. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to talk with prospective families about becoming a Missouri State Bear. And like Michael talked about, I want you all to find the perfect program for you. In all of our programs, we help a lot of students, and it's exciting to know that there's so many opportunities out there for you. So my presentation, Missouri State Bear Power, these are our students. Our first cohort that graduated, which was big accomplishment. All of their hard work was paying off. And it's tradition for Missouri State Bears to take a photo by our fountains with a beautiful library in the background as well. And with these students, I always like to highlight that 2 students had a job prior to graduating that was paid within their area of emphasis. And then there's this student right here went on to higher education. He got into PGA golf school, which is really phenomenal. Very happy for him. And then everyone else close to graduation had a job within their area of emphasis, and a paid job within their area of emphasis, which we'll go into more detail as well. So who and what is Bear Power? Bear Power stands for Promoting Opportunities for Work, Education, and Resilience. We are a fairly small program. We started in 2019. So currently we have a director, a program coordinator, such as myself, and then 2 full-time graduate assistants, and then ambassadors, which we'll go into more detail on who ambassadors are as well. So the director, program coordinator, and GAs, we are here to help students be successful. I always view my job as whatever the student wants to do on campus or in the community, it's our job to figure out how to make it successful for them. Two of our full-time GAs, they meet one-on-one with students, primarily academics, so making sure that you are understanding the test that's coming up, any projects that you may have, papers, anything more academically, but they can also help with independent living skills, social skills, and health and wellness too. We're currently a 2.5 or 5 semester program for our students, an inclusive program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're hoping to move to a 4-year model, so that's to come. It's not yet. Currently just 2.5 years. That does not include summers, so you get the summers off, which is always a nice touch. We were created to offer a post-secondary education opportunity for students transitioning out of high school. Much like myself, I got to decide where I wanted to go. You know, I wasn't just thrown into adulthood, as we discussed, but I was able to choose my undergrad and chose where I wanted to go. And I got those skills to become independent, and that's what we were created to offer for students with disabilities. We are a recognized comprehensive transition program by the United States Department of Education. So our students also can receive federal financial aid since we hold this recognition as a CTP program. So our goals is to help students transition out of high school. Hopefully they'll be able to gain those education skills, study any major at Missouri State. They'll be able to also gain work skills too. So we also have internships within the area that you're studying, independent living skills, living on your own in the college dorm rooms. So really help with that movement into adulthood. We really wanted to also raise the expectations for students with different ability levels, not only at Missouri State, but also the greater Springfield community. And we also have learning outcomes within the 4 pillars of Bear Power. And we'll go into more details on later slides on those as well. And then upon graduating from our program, the ultimate goal is for our students to have gainful employment, competitively paid too, and to live as independently as possible. And then our mission, to effectively utilize existing campus and community resources to create an inclusive academic college program that generates individual outcomes for students with intellectual disabilities in the area of education and employment. So on to the fun stuff. These are our pillars: academic, social, independent.
Caleb, real quick, sorry, your slides aren't going on my end that I'm seeing.
Thank you for letting me know.
Yep.
Wonder if it's lagging. What's the last one that you saw?
It was just the that first home slide.
Oh no. Let me try again. Do you see the 4 pillars of Bear Power?
Yes.
Awesome. Maybe I'll stay in this realm, and please feel free to interrupt me if it lags again. Thank you for letting me know.
No problem.
All right. So the 4 pillars of Bear Power are academic, social, independent living, and job readiness. And this is a photo of our prospective students. Our 3rd phase of our admissions process is something called a leadership retreat. So our students are able to come to Missouri State, and we kind of view it as a mini college day. So you're able to have lunch in our Plaster Student Union. You're able to sit in on a college level course. We're able to do a community service project. Last time we planted seeds for our community gardens. And you also do what we call a selfie scavenger hunt. So we have students going all over campus, taking selfies at the major parts of our campus. And this is a big one, PSU Bear. It even has its own Twitter handle. So if you're on Twitter, you can follow the MSU PSU Bear. But that's just a few of our students, staff, and ambassadors on this day. So academics, our students, they are required to take at least 6 credit hours of Missouri State classes. And then our students can also take more. So we've had students take up to 12 or 15 hours and be successful. But the minimum is to take at least 6 credit hours. That's about 2 classes, depending on the classes that you're in. We also have the option for our students to either audit the class or take the class for credit, which we'll go into on the next slide. And we'll talk about learning agreements too. And they also choose an area of concentration. So there's over 170 majors at Missouri State, and all of those majors are open to our students to take classes. And so I listed on the screen a few of the students, or a few of the majors that the students have taken. And kind of outside of the typical ones like hospitality and communications, our students have studied forestry, they've studied audio sound, so podcast, radio broadcasting, mixing media, animal sciences, and then also fashion. And then at the very end of the 5 semesters, our students will graduate, and they will walk in commencement under the College of Education as well. And it's really a cool moment because we are supported from the top down, and our president of the university even acknowledges our students too. So that's a pretty powerful moment in the middle of graduation to have the university president acknowledge our students, which we are very, very proud of. I just want to confirm, can you see the screen that says audit versus credit?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so with our students, they can take classes for audit or credit. They can start out all auditing, and then they can discuss that, hey, I'm meeting the requirements that the faculty has set forth. So even halfway through the semester, we can have our students move to credit, which is a really cool thing about our program. And vice versa. If students start taking the classes for credit and they say, this is too much for me, I need a little bit more modifications and support, we can switch to audit halfway through. And also, you could take one class for credit, and then you could take one class for audit during the same semester. So that's a really great option for many of our students. And a little bit more detail as listed on the screen. For audit, you'll have modifications. So that comes from our office. We work with the faculty and the student to discuss, this is the assignment, what modifications need to be put in. So a great example might be if the faculty isn't assessing your writing skills, but there's a paper due, maybe we can modify that to where you're not writing a paper, but you're having a conversation with the faculty. Still discussing the content, still discussing what needs to be discussed, but we're just changing the platform of no longer having to write a paper, but you can have a conversation with the faculty. Or modifying the length. So again, if it's another paper, instead of writing a 3-page paper, maybe you'll write 1-page paper or 2 paragraphs. For credit, those are more accommodations, and those we work with our Learning Diagnostic Clinic, but it's outside of our office, but we have a great partnership with them. So they will work with you one-on-one and develop some accommodations that best support you in your classes as well. So ambassadors, we would not be successful without our ambassadors on Missouri State campus. They are really a friendship model. They are meant to be someone that's a familiar face. They can be someone that you build a relationship with, a friendship with, someone that you can trust for any aspect that is coming to college. So need help navigating classes? You can reach out to your ambassadors. Do you need help finding the coolest restaurant in Springfield, Missouri? Reach out to your ambassadors. Help with cooking, help with independent living. Laundry is a big one. Dishes, cleaning, room tidiness, navigating the shuttle, which is our bus system on campus as well. But also go and have fun with them too. So let's go to your favorite movies. Let's go to the football games. Let's go to basketball games. Last night, we actually just had a white elephant gift exchange too. So a bunch of our students went and our ambassadors went. They're here to help support you on campus. It's one-on-one relationship building, and without our ambassadors, our students wouldn't be as successful because they're kind of the first touch point to help our students navigate campus. They do have a background check. They do have a training that we give them to help support our students. And I will say that it may start out more transactional for our ambassadors to then be paired with our students and say, here's your ambassador. But I do believe a true friendship does form. And the reason I say that, we've had ambassadors graduate who still stay in contact with our students. We still have students graduate and still stay in contact with our ambassadors. We had a student have a birthday party, and he came back down from his hometown, and all of his ambassadors showed up. All of the graduate assistants showed up. So I do believe that there's a true friendship that is formed between everyone in Bear Power and our students. We want our students to be social, so we want them to be fully integrated on campus. Ambassadors are really important and really helpful for that as well. But also, I've gone to events with our students before. If one of my students wanted to go to photography club, I went with him to photography club. We're all here to support our students. And with this, I think there's over 400 clubs or groups on our campus that our students are eligible to join. And there's anything from a cereal eating club, so they just go around and eat cereal together. There's intramural soccer, there's the kindness club, fraternity and sororities. We want our students to be known on campus, and they're very well known on campus. The other day, I was walking with a student, and they're very well known on campus. They also joined the traveling handball team, which was something that they wanted to get into. So they were traveling across state lines with the handball team, which is really exciting for us. All of our students will live on campus, and so the first year they will live in Hutchins House. So ideally, in a perfect world with perfect numbers, it's a 4-person suite, but ideally your suite mates will be 2 students outside of Bear Power, so traditional Missouri State students, and then your suite mates will be Bear Power students, just to promote more inclusive living as well. And then after your first year, you can decide where you want to live on campus. I will say Hutchins House is a really good culture fit for our students. Our students have left Hutchins after their first year and moved back just because they enjoy the people in Hutchins, they enjoy the RAs, the hall directors. It's a really supportive space for our students. And then job readiness. We all go to college to get a job. So that's really kind of one of the first questions we ask our students is even during the admissions process, what is your dream job? What do we need to do to make sure that you get there? At the end of 5 semesters, we want you to be the most ready to enter into that workforce. So we do that with career guidance. We have a great relationship with our Career Center on campus as well. Actually, tomorrow we have mock interviews set up for our students. They've come in and helped with resumes, cover letters, really, really vital for us. We also do person-centered plannings and academic support sessions. So those are the classes that I teach as a program coordinator, and you can kind of think of those as life skill classes. But each semester has a different theme. So those themes are time and money management, community engagement, reading and writing comprehension, interpersonal communication, and then transition to employment. And also built within that, we have internship seminar. So with internship seminar, it's just, again, more of a touch point of how's your internship doing? What's going really well? What job tasks do you have? What do you want to celebrate? And then also, let's talk about some areas that we can grow into. What are some things that we can do better? Or maybe there was an issue that came up and we need to work through it. Let's work through that as a group and a class together as well. And I also teach internship seminar. Internships start your second semester, so we really focus in on your first semester just being academics. That transition to college can be difficult, can also be exciting, but we really want you to focus in on just navigating campus, navigating your classes. So your second semester, you'll start your internship, and that really is developing a relationship with the student, and then I will go out with and job develop within our community or Missouri State campus as well. And really focus in on your major. What are you majoring in? And we're going to get you an internship within that. I have job developed with Wonders of Wildlife, so the aquarium in Springfield, Missouri, a lot of community or campus partnerships, Southern Missouri Container was a paid internship, Bass Pro, Twin Oaks Country Club, and then KSMU Radio as well. So whatever the student is studying, it's my job to go out and find an internship that best fits them. We start out fairly small too with hours. So it's only about 5 hours a week, your first semester of internship. And then by the time you graduate, ideally you're working about 20 hours within your area of emphasis to continue just working on those hard skills and those soft skills too.
Caleb, not to interrupt, just giving you about a 4-minute warning real quick.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So some student success. Again, Michael, I really liked your presentation. It had a lot of good student voices. And I can talk to you all about my perspective of Bear Power, but I really want the students to share their insight too. So this is one of our students who started last fall. And so why did you apply to MSU? He wanted to learn independence, job skills, make friends, and build confidence. How is MSU different from high school? College is a lot bigger. There's a lot more stuff to do and a lot more independence. And advice to future students, be yourself and don't give up. I believe this is our contact information just for time. Like us on Facebook. This is our general email address too, bearpower@missouristate.edu. Reach out to us. We're always happy to answer any questions, do a campus tour, do a family one-on-one as well. Whatever you may need, we're always happy to meet with you all and talk a little bit more about Bear Power. Thanks for having me.
So, no, thanks so much, Caleb. That was a lot of great information. Super appreciate it. Yes, and it's nice to see all the differences and similarities too. So we'll keep this rolling. Dr. Lemke from MU with pause. We'll have you on deck next.
Great, thank you so much. I'm similar to Caleb, just trying to navigate this.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah,
okay,
that'll
great.
be
And
great.
Matt, can you see when I advance it?
Yes, that worked.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So I'm Erica Lemke. I'm one of the faculty liaisons for the PAWS, Preparing Adults for Work and Society program at the University of Missouri. And I appreciate being able to talk with you a little bit and share a little bit about what we're doing, and also appreciate the opportunity to hear updates from all of our other programs. We're really fortunate in Missouri to have so many selections for students and families in the state. And, of course, there are lots of programs that have students outside the state too, but I'm just so happy that we have so many quality programs. We're the baby of the programs. We just started our program this past fall and really appreciate all the support from all of the other programs this year. We have started this year with just 2 students, but we hope to rapidly increase that. We have room in our program for lots of students. And as many of the other programs mentioned, we're beginning to get lots of applications. And so we'd be excited to talk with you more about our program. Our program is a 2-year program. Students are full-time students at the University of Missouri. It is a residential program, so students live on campus in one of our residence halls, and they take both, similar to the other programs, they take both PAWS skills classes and also Mizzou course catalog classes. We're really anxious to continue to grow the community. So PAWS students are Mizzou students. Just as similar to the other programs, they have access to clubs, intramurals, groups, events, opportunities that other Mizzou students have and use. And upon completion, our students in the PAWS program receive a certificate and also participate in commencement with our College of Education and Human Development students. We have 4 major goals, and I won't read these to you, but I'll just reiterate. We're really focusing on, 1, collaboration to help our students in the PAWS program grow, identify their own goals, but also we're very excited and happy to be letting the rest of the Mizzou community know also about students who have challenges, students who have disabilities. And so even just in this first year, we've seen a lot of our faculty and students on campus learn and grow more as a result of their interaction with this program. So that's something we're really trying to build that on both sides. Students in the PAUSE program develop skills in independent living, in social and community interaction. And as they build relationships and learn more about the community, we want them to explore opportunities that will help their independent living in the future and help them meet their long-term goals. So we have a few different aspects of independent living. This is one of our skill building areas. We're trying to answer the question for students, what are my strengths or skills, and what do I need help or support with? And so we help support them in areas like self-care, self-regulation, food and money management, to name just a few. We're also focused on skill building in the area of academics. So similar to some of the other programs, we do person-centered planning to help students set goals and plan and check to see what's working. We have coaches who work with the students, helping them with assignments, helping them navigate some of our online systems. Our students go into our online platform, which is Canvas, and work to complete assignments or post to discussion boards within that. And so we have support from both peers, from our PAUSE staff, and then we have a lot of faculty support, both from the College of Ed, but also from the occupational therapy department. And so our faculty support students as well. And then finally, we have an aspect of skill building called social and community connection. So students are learning about things like safe and healthy relationships, sex education, learning more about the history of disability rights. And then we're just helping our students be more civic-minded in terms of building the community that eventually we all will be a part of. These are some of the typical courses that students might take at Mizzou, in addition to some of the skills courses that focus on areas like I just mentioned. Students are also taking courses like public speaking. There's a course that they'll take this spring, aptly entitled Successful Adulting. That's our Human Development and Family Studies 1, 2, 3, 4. We think maybe a lot of students need to take that class, not just our PAUSE students. We also have students who are taking theater for non-acting majors and history class. We have a student who's exploring taking modern military history. We found the instructors at Mizzou to be extremely open to having our students in class. And so this is just an initial list, but we anticipate this will grow as we have more students. We have a lot of support for our students. Our program director is Maggie Center. She is here on campus and has a dedicated phone for PAUSE, so students and families can reach out to her. But I will say we're really advocating for independence for our students. So as much as we can, we really try to use the existing Mizzou structures for our students, and they're extensive. So we first want our students to access those structures. These are folks like our residence hall advisors and coordinators, and we have faculty and staff who are teaching those courses that I spoke of. We have students and faculty who are part of occupational therapy who are helping our students with things like organization, self-management. And then we have peer mentors, similar to what some of the other programs have talked about, who work with the students on, social activities, studying, going into the dining halls. So along with our Disability Access Services office on campus, we've got a nice net of support for our students. Who's a good fit for the PAUSE program, we're looking for students with intellectual or developmental disabilities who want to go to college but feel like traditional programs might be unable to meet their needs. We are looking for students who have foundational skills in independent living but want to extend those and they're ready to live on campus. And then we're also looking for students who have academic work and community goals. They'll extend those goals as they participate with our PAUSE program. And so these are some of the characteristics that we are working to help our PAUSE students gain. And we've already seen in this first semester so many growth areas of strength and growth in our students. And so we're thinking about helping students create meaningful routines, help with skills and experiences to make them more independent. Similar to the student Michael was talking about at Thrive, we've already had one of our students, say like, I don't want to just live at home when I get done. I want to visit you, but I really want to stay and live in Columbia and work in Columbia. So we're seeing lots of growth in terms of independence. But we really want our students to feel connected as part of the Mizzou community. And we're really anxious to continue to grow this program because we know from a lot of research that young adults are often with disabilities are often underemployed and underpaid. And so we really want our students to make lots of growth, to succeed, and potentially have options that other students may not have had. And so, we hope that our students are benefiting from lots of experience of our faculty here who do research in areas like this to help improve the lives of students with disabilities. This is just one example of a daily schedule for our students. Wake up and head over to the dining hall. There's a choice of dining halls on campus where students can use their dining plan. Each morning, the students do a brief Zoom check-in with PAUSE staff to kind of set the tone for the day, to discuss the events in the calendar for the day or assignments that are coming up. Our students this fall are taking a communications class, public speaking, and then following that class, they can choose to have lunch at the dining hall or get takeout lunch in the morning to have with them. They have a PAUSE class after lunch, freshman seminar, and then they take a class with one of our Mizzou College of Ed faculty on Mondays and Wednesdays called Safe, Strong, and Healthy Relationships. Then there's some study time and free time. Sometimes there's study hall in the afternoon, which is more of a structured time. But then there's some free time to do studying or do something, a preferential activity later in the day along with dinner. So next steps, if you're interested, love you to visit our website. You can just Google Mizzou and PAUSE if you'd like, but we are taking applications right now. We do actually have a couple of open houses as well coming up. And so I'll just leave this on for just a second here. Our next open house is actually tomorrow at 6 p.m., but then we have some others coming up if you want to grab a quick snapshot of that. But I can also just share those later when we do question and answer. Okay, so thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great information. Thank you, Dr. Lemke. We'll keep this rolling with Caitlin Davis from UMSL, and hopefully, I know you guys have done very well with getting your presentations up. I don't want to jinx it.
I know, because now mine is not in a tab. Sorry, one sec. Figured it out. Okay. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay. I can't see myself, okay. So if you can't see the next slide, let me know.
Will do. Yeah.
My name is Caitlin Davis. I am the transition coordinator for the Office of Inclusive Post-Secondary Education, formerly known as the Succeed program. So in October, we changed, we didn't change the Succeed program name, but we have grown into an office on campus. So now we have an official office name that is really exciting that houses different pathways that our students are able to take at UMSL. So we still have the Succeed program, and it's okay if you refer to us as the Succeed program, it's still a thing. But now we have an office. So our office, we call it OIP for short because saying the Office of Inclusive Post-Secondary Education is a mouthful. So throughout this presentation, there's OIP, which means our office name. So throughout our office, there's different pathways that students can be taking at UMSL. We are supporting about 74 students throughout all of our pathways. All of our pathways get the same type of support. So whether our students are in the Succeed program or getting a bachelor's degree at UMSL, they're still getting the same support through our office. So I'll quickly go through our pathways. So we have the Succeed program, which is a 2-year academic program where students get a chancellor's certificate through the university. A chancellor's certificate from the university says that you've gone through program requirements and you have completed the program signed by the chancellor. Our students also walk at commencement with the College of Education. It's my favorite day of the year, seeing students in the College of Ed who are graduating with their PhDs, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees. Get to celebrate our students. It's a really good day.
Hey, Caitlin, sorry, that's not moving right now through your.
Oh, is it now? Is it on the pathway still?
No, it hasn't. That one hasn't changed either
Oh.
from your first. I know you're not in present mode from the
Oh,
Google Slides.
let me see. If like I share screen, it doesn't work. Let's see. Like if I change on here, do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Like this.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, I'll keep it like this. Sorry about that.
No,
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Students in the Succeed program and through all of our pathways get support through our 4 pillars: live, learn, work, and play. And I'll go through all of our pillars in a few slides. Students in the program can be a residential student and live on campus in our inclusive style dorms, or they can commute. If you're in the St. Louis area, it's very easy to commute to campus because we have 2 Metro links that are right on campus, super convenient. Just like the other programs, we are a comprehensive transition program. Really excited that we offer the highest level of inclusion in all of our pillars, but it's also great because of that financial aid opportunity as well. We use person-centered planning to help drive student success. So we meet with students, sometimes their families, every semester to talk about what that student is wanting to learn and what they want to experience and how they envision life after Succeed. So our admissions process for each different pathways. So for the Succeed and Link certificate, so Link certificate is for students who are getting an undergrad certificate at UMSL, have to have an intellectual disability, a strong desire to continue formal education. It's really important to us that we are supporting students who want to be there, have a high school diploma or equivalent, some type of successful self-care strategies and supports. We also ask our prospective students to attend an open house. We just had our last open house December 2nd on Saturday, but we will have more open houses coming in the spring. We like our students, our prospective students, to attend a day in the life. A day in the life is when a student can come and hang out with one of our alumni students, attend some classes. They usually go to lunch together and really just see what it's like to be an UMSL student for the day. Or attend our Succeed Summer Enrichment Camp, which I will have a slide on later on. For our LINK students, a LINK degree student is a student who is getting a bachelor's degree at UMSL. The student who wants to get support through LINK applies to the admissions process through UMSL. So some of our students in the Succeed 2-year program, we can help them matriculate into the university. But we also have students in the LINK program who have not gone through the 2-year Succeed certificate program, but they are also more than, they can get support through our office. If they get into UMSL and provide us with a proof of disability, they can get supports through our office. And the last pathway is our Succeed Plus. Succeed Plus is an optional 3rd year where students, after they graduate the Succeed program, can stay an extra year and work on industry recognized credentials, certificates. Some example of the certificates our Plus students are working on is animal care. There's a child care, sports management, IT. Basically, any interest that our students are having, they're able to work on certificates in the Plus program. So a little bit more about admissions to the Succeed program, the 2-year certificate program. So we ask that families submit and complete an application. Our applications are live right now. If a student gets in their application by December 8th, they are guaranteed an interview. So we do ask families and student to participate in an interview. It might sound scary, but really it's just a get to know you type of conversation. We talk about what types of supports you had in high school that you might need in college. What are your goals after college? Really, it's just a conversation on making sure we are able to provide the support to that student. We also have a rolling admissions process. So even if students don't get in their application by the 8th of December, the official deadline is April 15th. More than likely, we will still be able to provide an interview, but the later you turn in the application, the more likely you are going to end up on our wait list, because we do have a wait list every year. So a little bit more about our pillars. Our students live in inclusive style suite living at Oak Hall. So what a suite style living is that a student gets a room all to themselves with a door that locks. It has their bed, a dresser, a desk. Our dorms even have a mini fridge and a microwave in them. You have that space to yourself. And then there's 3 other students who have the same type of room. And then those 4 students share a hallway and a bathroom together. So our students are really good at doing suite mate agreements, where they have to talk with their suite mate and talk about cleaning the bathroom or making sure one roommate is not staying up all night playing video games, being super loud. The biggest conflict, I would say, at Oak Hall is the temperature, because there's only one thermostat for the whole suite. So we talk a lot with our students about how to advocate, how to compromise, how to have boundaries, all those really important things when living in Oak Hall. We do support students who live in our Meadows Apartments complex that's also on campus. Students at Meadows have an RA that they can meet with if they want. They can have an apartment up to just themselves. They can have 1 roommate, 2 roommates, or 3 roommates. It's really just up to them and what their lease is and what lease they pick. Any student who is living in Oak Hall, our dorms, have to have a meal plan. The meal plan is really important because that's how we start off working on budgeting skills. So in all of their classes, they're tracking their meal plan, seeing how many they have left for the semester, and tracking how much money that they have. Our students are navigating and managing campus and the schedule. So they do have their own individual schedule that they have to follow. And sometimes that schedule changes. So we are there to support them with managing their schedule. I do have an example of a real life schedule in the next few slides that I'm excited to show everyone. Our campus is pretty big. It's split up into two different campus, two sides of campus. And there is a shuttle that goes campus wide to bring students back and forth to main areas on campus, which is pretty nice. In each of our pillars, there are classes in the Succeed curriculum that align or correlate with each pillar. So the Live pillar correlates with first year experience and issues in independent living. Those classes are talking about all the skills that you need to know to be able to live on your own. We also have a student support specialist, her name is Maddie, who puts on semester workshops for the Live pillar. So she talks about budgeting, nutrition, they use the metro to go grocery shopping, they do cooking and cleaning. The way that she had it set up this semester was that students had to take the budgeting workshop, then they took a nutrition workshop, then they were able to go on the metro and go to Deerbergs together to go grocery shopping. So they kind of aligned with each other. And then, like I mentioned earlier, there's RA support residential advisors that support our students, just like any other degree-seeking student at UMSL. The great thing about our RAs is that they're trained by our program. So our independent living pillar support will go to housing whenever they're training RAs and do a whole day of training in how to work with students with various abilities, which is really nice. For our academic pillar, students in the Succeed program are taking our credit courses. So they are taking our classes for credit. The classes are about 2 to 5 credits, depending on which class that they're taking at that time. There's a whole list of our classes, but there's a first year experience class, there's vocational courses, the issues in independent living class. There's a transition course that they're taking to help transition out of the program, how to access community networks and advocating. And my favorite is healthy relationships, where they're learning all about boundaries and how to have a healthy relationship. So our students are automatically taking these classes, but outside of these classes, students are able to take 1 to 2 catalog courses through UMSL's course catalog. These classes are picked during coaching with our students within our office. So they talk about what types of goals that they have. Sometimes it's a vocational goal. And some of our students are going to matriculate into the university to get a degree. So they're talking about with their coach about what their goals are, and they're picking classes that align with those goals. So some students take a public speaking class to get better at public speaking. Some students are really interested in nutrition and healthy living, so they take the nutrition course. These classes can be taken for full credit, so they can get 3 credits for it, just like any other degree-seeking student at UMSL, and we'll support that student in getting accommodations through the Disability Access Service Office. So some of those accommodations are a note taker, testing in a quiet space. Some of our courses, you have to have a special permission to record the class. So all of those things our students can have access to. Or students can take that credit course for modified credit. So they're getting 1 credit instead of the 3. Any student who is taking an UMSL credit course for modified credit, that instructor meets with our academic team and talk about how the class can be modified to meet that student's need. So an example is a student was taking a biology class, and he was taking it for modified credit. He still had to go to class. He had to do the chapter readings. He had to participate in discussion in the class, but he didn't have to take the test. Another example is that this semester I'm working with a student, and she had to, her class was assigned like a 5 to 10 page paper, and she was taking it for modified credit. So instead of doing that really long paper, she was able to put a presentation together instead. So all of those modifications are talked about and worked through within our office before the student even talks or even takes the class. Some support we have for our Learn pillar is tutoring. We offer one-on-one tutoring with our College of Education volunteers. We have academic lab hours, advising, any type of support for transition. And we use a holistic coaching model where our students in every pathway meet with a coach for at least 1 hour a week. And in that coaching session, they go through each of the pillars and talk about the goals that they've made in person-centered planning and how they are achieving and working on those goals in each pillar. They also talk about any type of barriers that might be getting in the way. They have a lot of celebrations on what they're doing great at, and talk through any type of supports that they might need.
Just a few 3 to 4 minute warning.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is an example of a schedule. The student is taking, let's see, a history class called St. Louis People of Place and a child and adolescent development class. They're working at the rec center and they have tutoring, all the fun things, but this is a real life schedule from a student. I'll quickly go into our work pillar. Our work pillar does not place students in jobs. What we do is help students get gainful employment. They do different interest inventories. We help with resume building, interviewing, and actually applying to jobs. There are a ton of different campus partners that we have. So some of our students are working at instructional support, our recreation and wellness center, Sodexo, which provides all of our food on campus. There's a few childcare centers in the area. We have students who are connected to the Cardinals, Blues, and the St. Louis City soccer team, and a whole lot other different places on campus. But really, we're getting our students connected to gainful employment. We also love getting our students connected socially to campus as well. We have a partnership with our counseling group on campus where they meet in small groups to talk about different types of soft skills. UMSL has over 150 clubs and organizations that our students are accessing. We have some students who are making their own club right now. We have a student who's making a national parks club because he loves going to different national parks. And then our housing team also does different events for students who are living in the dorms. And then we also have a pretty new recreation and wellness center on campus where our students are accessing intramural sports. Last week, they wrapped up their dodgeball tournament that a lot of our students participated in, which is really exciting. But basically, we are trying to get our students to grow socially and get active at the UMSL community. And then I'll end on our summer enrichment camp. Our summer enrichment camp is an overnight camp that provides students with a college experience. They live in the dorms. We go to where students are using their meal plan. We take academic workshops that correlate with our pillars. We do vocational training. We are exploring campus. Of course, we do fun, traditional camp activities like go to the rec center with swimming and rock climbing and team building. There's two different weeks that you can pick from, June or July. And applications are actually now available if you're interested. They're on our website. And then the last one was just a thank you. And I look forward to answering any questions that you might have after the presentation. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Great information. And then so we have our last program with Dana Latin from KU's Transition to Post-Secondary Education to wrap us up tonight.
Thank you. I'm going to go pretty quickly here. Let's see. Are you sharing? I think I am, right?
Yes, I see.
Okay. It says I am. Let's share in this mode. Let's hopefully let me know, Matt, if it's not moving along here.
Yeah.
So I'm Dana Latin. I'm the director of KU TPE. We started with our first class of students in 2016, and we have 10 students this year. Our goal is to grow our program to about 20, 25 students, and we already have a jump on that, I think, for next year. So we're pretty excited about that. Our website is www.tpe.ku.edu. All of our information is there. We're happy to meet with you. I will tell you there are some information sessions coming up, and I'll put that at the end, but it's in our events section on our website. And in that, we spend a lot more time going through the details of the program. KU started with a TIPSID grant, and we are flying on our own now.
It's not progressing.
I haven't moved it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Let's see if we can get some fight song going, though. Does everybody hear that? That's something that every student at KU and KU TPE will have an opportunity to hear. Did it progress, Matt?
Yes, you're good.
Great. Here's a quick video.
It was amazing to see the change KU TPE has brought to my life. I'm doing all these things that normally my parents would have done for me, but I'm figuring it out on my own. So I'm feeling independent.
KU TPE is the first fully inclusive program in the state of Kansas.
I like it. It's a very big campus, and you can easily find things with people's help. You can easily ask people for help.
KU TPE stretches their independence more than they can even imagine.
In this program, it's more of an acceptance of where you really are. It's reality.
The things that she has learned in just this short amount of time are priceless.
Oh, I'm going to a huge school. I don't know anybody. I have to figure my way across campus by myself.
She really took pride in being independent and doing it on her own.
I'm going to move that along. We haven't been around as long as UMSL and UCM have, that's for sure. You guys have a long history, but we've had about 40 students in the program. We have an 80% graduation rate. We have about an 80% competitive integrated employment rate after at least 1 year after completing the program. We interview our graduates every year, do a quick interview survey with them to find out what they're doing in their lives. It's pretty fun to go back and see that. They also are invited to homecoming events and things, so we get to see them regularly. So a quick overview, TPE is currently a 2-year, 4-semester program. Students come in, they apply to KU. They are card-carrying Jayhawks. So they are official KU students. They take courses with their peers without disabilities, and the course catalog is open to them just as it is to anybody else. There is a TPE undergraduate certificate. It is an official undergraduate certificate program of the University of Kansas. We went through the program approval process that any PhD, master's, or undergraduate program goes through. So all courses and the certificate show on students' official KU transcript. There is a program of study, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. We are also CTP approved, so that's any student who qualifies for Pell or work study. They can obtain that at the University of Kansas. In fact, we have close relationship with our financial aid office. In fact, I think we ended up with the UCM. The financial aid director was at UCM. So that's especially exciting that she already knew what we were. So that was pretty, you guys already trained her up. Thanks, Mike. We focused, have a strong focus on career development. All of our students have, right now, we have 80% of our students are in paid employment of some kind while they're in the program. We are focusing on competitive integrative employment post-school, not workshop, not, and that's in careers aligned with their preferences and choices. And then, of course, there's student life. I call that the third leg of the three-legged stool. And that's everything else. That's housing, it's clubs, it's choir, it's going to all the sometimes too many activities on campus, participating, finding your people. That's what we focus a lot on. We work directly with the Student Access Center. They've been a partner of ours since we wrote the grant. So all of our students, their first stop is with the accommodations office at the Student Access Center, and we work closely with them to develop those accommodations. Beyond that, we do training on what's called UDL, which is a little bit shop talk, Universal Design for Learning. We do that across campus twice each semester. We invite whoever wants to come. We give special invitations to instructors who are going to have TPE students in their classes and work closely with them to think about designing courses and refining courses so that they're more universally accessible for any student, not just students in TPE. Then we work with the Access Center to provide accommodations. And then we look at adaptations on a student by student, class by class, assignment by assignment, sometimes not even graded assignment basis. And then what I call the grease on the wheels, and everybody's got a version of this, but those peers without intellectual and developmental disabilities. We've kind of shifted how we do that. Ours are primarily volunteers. We do have a couple that are paid as in leadership positions. But they take a 1 credit hour class now each semester. They're working on some credentials and some service learning. But what that class helps them do is teaches them how to not be the one special friend, but to facilitate connections with other people on campus. So that's how we are training them and what we expect of them. Not to be the one stop, but be the stop that connects people to other people. And to, again, like I said, help find your people. Kind of our guiding principles is we presume competence right off the bat. So we look at IEPs and we take all those things into consideration, but we tend to start with just seeing what students can do. And then we work through the accommodations and adaptations as needed, rather than applying all, adaptations to everybody in such situations. We look at it's highly individualized. It's a big, heavy load for our academic advisor. We start with KU first, just like the MU program said. We start with what all of the student services are available to any undergraduate student on campus. Our students have access to those. And we support those units to support students with neurodiversity. Then if there's additional support they need, we can provide some of that. But we support those units to support our students. That's gone really smoothly. KU courses, like I said, they're all the course catalog. They take courses with their peers. There is 1 credit hour in the 24 credit hours that they take that is minimum of 24. That is what I would say is not fully inclusive. Now, I've had people argue that with me, but I'd rather err on the other side. And that is, it's a course we created to help prepare students for the courses that are already in the course catalog around career development. So they spend for, the tuition of in-state of $360. They are doing their resume, their references, they're learning to write cover letters, they're applying for jobs, they're doing employment career assessments, they're doing informational interviews, They're maybe doing a little job shadow here and there. And maybe just getting their toes wet with some jobs. I like to say too that if parents of typically developing students knew about that, I think they might have their students, because it's a lot of bang for the buck. We provide a challenge with necessary supports. We use a lot of I do, we do, you do as a practice. If you're familiar with that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to do it together and figure out what works best for you and what supports you are going to need so that you can be as independent as possible in that. And then you're going to go do it. And we're going to provide some feedback and some support. And you know what? You might make a mistake, but guess what? The rest of us all learn best sometimes from the mistakes that we make. So we like to leave space for that, because when you get to make a mistake, you get to own your own problem and own your own solution. And sometimes there's a whole lot of, most of the time, I would say, there's a whole lot of pride in that. And then I talk about that 2x individualization. Again, that's what the course is, and looking at assignment by assignment. So in academics, we do have a program of study. It's just like any other program of study at the university level, where there's courses that you're required to take. There's areas of study that you're required to take a class that fulfills that area of study. And then there's electives. Our program of study is on our website in our resources section. You're welcome to go look at that and see kind of the options. We've had students take psychology classes, improv classes, math classes. That was only one student. We were grateful for that, because we're not math people or strong math people. English 101, that's a class that a lot of students come and take, because to get into a community college in Kansas, and I don't know how this would translate with Missouri, but we're happy to look into it. You have to pass a competence test, and a lot of our students can't pass the test. Big surprise, right? But the backwards way in is to pass English 101 at any Regents institution with a C or better, and you bypass the test. So any student who thinks they might want to be going on or to a community college, we strongly recommend they take that English 101 so they can bypass that test. We've had students take, let's see, did I say psychology, anthropology classes, history classes, behavioral science classes, arts, textiles, media, mixed media classes, journalism classes. They've taken classes in all the things. And part of the fun thing we get to, sports management and sports training. So we get to go to a lot of fun classes and learn just a smidge about lots of different things. Student life is, like I said, everything else. We have our student navigators who are helping students pick from the over 600 student clubs and organizations on campus to identify the ones that they might be interested in. We recommend picking 3. One you'll like, one you've maybe done before, one you'd like to try, and one that's just way out there. We've had students going to the Catholic Center, really actively engaged in that. And it's a big, very active, and has a long history on campus. The Jewish Faith Organization, choirs, swing dance club. There was one club that one student did. She was studying to be is she in that picture? No, she's not. She was studying early childhood because she wanted to be a preschool teacher. So she was taking ASL classes, and she realized she really liked to learn ASL to sign pop songs. So there was a club that was called Signs of KU, and that's what they did. They got together every Monday night and taught each other different pop songs using an ASL. So just all kinds of things like that. The idea is for students to, like I said, not be the one point of contact, but be the point of contact to connect with others. So it's a little bit like an atom bomb infusion, hitting that nucleus to make multiple more connections on campus. I don't mean to reference something so negative for that, but That's all I can think visual. I'm a visual thinker and I just see that vision process. KU housing is optional. It costs about $10,000 to $17,000 a year. That depends on, it's like a whole algorithm of what kind of dorm you want to choose in. Students choose to live in. Students can pick any dorm on campus, any room selection they'd like, and there's a meal plan. They can choose a TPE student or any other KU student, or if they have a friend from high school that they've agreed to be roommates with, that works too. We do not provide support in housing, a staff necessarily. We work with those RAs and the housing staff that are there. We've had no issues, substantial issues. When I learn what happens among students that are typically developing, sometimes I'm like, oh, we look good. We look way good compared to some of the behaviors that happen there. So anyway, all students in housing, we recommend they disclose a disability in the matching process. Housing recommended that, and they don't just recommend that to students with disabilities. They recommend it to students with lots of differences, just so everybody knows what they're getting into. For more information, I go to the housing website. Again, we talked about career development. This young man was studying environmental studies, and he wanted to be working with plants, not necessarily in a landscaping environment. And this is an internship that started off as an unpaid internship. He also came to us and said, right when he got to campus, my dad said, I have to contribute. So he wanted a job, and he's like, I don't care what the job is. I'll take any job. I just want to get paid and contribute like my dad wants me to. So he got a job in dining. As those of you on campuses, you all know, you're feeding and beveraging a lot of people all the day. So he did that. There's always a job there. He loved it. He was doing all kinds of things. Dining has been a great employment partner for those students who just want a job. We also have students in offices on campus. We have students doing all kinds of things. So we differentiate between jobs and internships. So a job is when you just got to have a job because you just got to pay for the pizza habit. An internship is going to focus on your career and your career interests, and we do those in each semester. It might be the same one if that's where you want to stick. It could be 2 or 3 different ones. He's working in his internship. It started as an unpaid internship this is a botany lab on campus. So there's some really weird plants in here. And so he had to help keep with other student hourlies. He had to keep up with humidity levels and feeding schedules and watering schedules and which plant couldn't be within 6 feet of this plant and all kinds of very interesting and unknown, requirements. At that first semester after he did the unpaid internship, the supervisor came to and said, I can only hire students with work study. If you have work study, I'd like to hire you for next year. So that's what happened. We helped him get work study. We worked with financial aid. He got work study and he had a job on campus in a field. And I think he kept his other job too, because maybe the pizza was getting more expensive. I don't know. Here's an example of a schedule. Again, I like to point out the white space. Sometimes families anticipate that college is going to look like high school, and it really doesn't at KU. It looks like college, which is a challenge for all freshmen, I would like to point out, to manage that free time. It's a learning process. But you can see here, the gold things are the classes. The bright green are like work and employment and career activities. The purple are meetings with staff. So we have an academic advisor, a student life coordinator, and a career advisor. So they meet weekly with each of them. There's office hours where students are applying for jobs and doing career-related things with our career specialists. They're doing, the blue is the different social activities they're doing. Annual costs, everybody wants to see the numbers, so we'll put this out there. For out of state, it is about $25,000 a year. That's 13 credit hours with an out-of-state tuition fee, course fees, and then a program fee that's flat of $12,000. That's per year. I'm not sure where Missouri Voc Rehab is on supporting students in Kansas. All of our students from Kansas this year are receiving VR support, substantial VR support. And we work with Voc Rehab across the country to help advocate for our students. Those federal dollars are designed to support people with disabilities working toward a career and employment of their choice. And we're strong. We feel strongly that that those funds are to be used for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities as well. We've got applications and admissions. Our first deadline is January 1st. We do we'll do interviews that week of the 8th. Our final deadline is the 23rd. And again, interviews the week of February 26th. I am recommending strongly that if you want to apply to KU, even if you don't know if you're going to come or not, get that application in by that January 1 deadline. And here's why. This fall, KU had the largest freshman class of any ever. They ran out of housing. So by April, they had to turn people away for housing. So we had some of our students who wanted to come were not able to because of that. So I would just say get in on that January deadline. It gets you kind of in that notification period and all those things that track early or earlier, and you can sign up for housing if that's how that works. Also, we have a lot of more applications this time of year right now than we've ever had before. So we may have a good problem to have, I hope. But the sooner you get in your application in, the quicker we can look at it. And we may hopefully have to turn people away this year. I don't want to, though. Our application planning is a 2-step process. I encourage you to go to our website and download the document that outlines that and really look at that carefully. There are some specific steps you have to take in order to enter the system just right so we can find you. And then I always say, if you apply to KU, just email us and say, we just applied. And then we can go dig through the system and make sure we can find you and you're showing in the place where we expect to see you. So I would just say next steps are visit KU, set up a visit. Our office does an incredible job. Our admissions office does a great job with that, and they work with us to set up a meeting as part of that visit to meet with us individually. You can start sending us documentation for intellectual and developmental disability. We do look for that. It's not always on an IEP, so sometimes there's a back and forth process. We're happy to do that. Look at that application checklist I just showed and start collecting those reference letters that you'll need for an application. I think that's all.
All right. Thank you so much, Dana. I know you and all the programs here probably could have talked for 3 hours alone each about all the amazing things that are going on in your programs. So with that being said, this last few minutes we have tonight for families that if they have any questions, I think definitely feel free to start shouting those out as you have them.
And I'll just say, I'm going to have to duck out at 7, a little before 7:30. I have a prior commitment. So, but I'm happy to talk to you individually if you have questions later and I'm not here.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'll give the good, teacher wait time here for a couple minutes before we sign off for tonight. Let's say it was exciting to see all of you present at the same time now. Like, I feel like I've gotten information from each of you, like, at individual points. So, like, to see, like, that just kind of congeal almost all of your different programs together. That was really exciting to see. Okay.
If you don't
We
mind
just
me
wanted
saying.
to, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Ellen. Go ahead.
We just wanted to say thank you so much for presenting. It's been really eye-opening for us. Caleb's a junior at Lee Summit West High School, so we're kind of prepping ahead of time. And it's been very eye-opening and informative for us, and a great learning experience, right, Ben?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much for your time and doing this on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
for sure.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Caleb, you're lucky you have so many options.
Oh,
where have we come?
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again. We appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'd have to say, like, we'll still be in contact with all of these groups. I mean, on a yearly basis now with my role in transition here with Lee Summit. But I can say, like, just in these just last couple of years, really, like, the programs are just growing and expanding. So I feel like I'm getting new information from all of our college programs almost, yeah, yearly, it seems like. So we'll keep rolling with getting their information out too as they grow and evolve. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Matt, for coordinating all of us.
Oh, of course.
A lot to get us all together, so that was great.
No.
Later, I thought in retrospect we should have recorded it, right? So like it's hard to get us all in one spot. So thank you.
Yes, I super appreciate that. Yes, no, I'm more of a party planner sometimes these days. So yes, I do have this recorded, so I'll be able to share this with our other families in the district. So much, just greatly appreciated, everybody. Lots of great information, and I'll definitely be in touch. As we go throughout our school years, just to be able to share all the great things that you all are doing.
All right. Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, guys. See ya.
All right. Take care, everyone.